Audible, not audible.
Hello,
It's
is it audible?
audible, sir. It's audible.
Is it audible? So,
You may have a poor connection. You continue, sir.
yeah.
So it is
Um,
audible. You can continue, sir.
okay. So basically, I'm blended with interdisciplinary approach by using CFD softwares and advanced level of optimization softwares too in different fields of engineering. Initially, I started with growing along with turbulence modeling of combustion by using CFD softwares, by using advanced level of knowledge-based expert systems too, including ESI and ES Aero. Then I started swimming this academic research towards the guidance of auto infotronics, microelectromechanical systems, wireless sensor development. Then, as far as forensic imagings are concerned, through digital image processing. Then, as far as satellite communication issues are concerned, through the artificial intelligence and machine learning too. So, this is the background in which I started swimming in this academic stream. And so far, I have been associated with Self-Finance Engineering Colleges India for more than 20 years, and associated with the abroad teaching learning process under Ministry of Education Government University for the past 4 years. And prior to this, Maldives Ministry of Education assignment, I was associated with the Ministry of Education, Waletta Soda University, Ethiopia Government University. I worked as an associate professor at the time of joining. Then I left the institution as a full professor with many credits as far as the international types and consultancies for multinational funded projects are concerned, including the green building heat transfer aspects with the help of phase change materials and two-phase heat transfers towards the nanomaterials and its applications. So this is my background, conceptual background to start with this seminar. So once again, my sincere thanks and welcome to all the participants to join with me in this forum for another 1.5 hours at least to see that what we are supposed to do and what we have already undergone and what we are supposed to get out of this session in terms of the basic terminologies as well as advanced terminology and application oriented aspects of the newer hybrid as well as systematic professionally used nanofluids and heat transfer in the advanced level towards the sustainable development for both advanced fluid flow structures as well as advanced heat transfer aspects. So let me start the presentation. So just we are going to have a conceptual background of fundamentals of nanofluids and heat transfer. So basically nanofluids, it talks about the advanced level of fluid flow patterns or structures or models along with the advanced heat transfer aspects with the help of the combined mode of conduction and convection to the core. And of course, as far as radiation is concerned, normally we are considering it as an unaccounted thing and always it will be neglected. But at the same time, if you look at the basic conduction mode with respect to solids and the basic convection mode with respect to fluids, up to some extent, still we are not able to predict the situations in such a way that what should be the proportionate percentage in which we need to combine the solids as well as fluids up to the extent in which we are supposed to have the prediction of the critical characteristics heat flux. So there are two different scenarios in which the heat transfer, basic fluid flow structures and heat transfer aspects are to be predicted. One is with respect to a single step mode, and the other one is by considering the two-step method. So basically, at the moment if you are talking about the nanofluids, it is nothing but the combination or the dispersion of or mixing of or blending of or embedding of or having a collapsible dispersion of basic nanoparticles in advanced level by reducing its sizes in powder form or its semi-solid form, or it can also be used in a very augmented differential forms with respect to a particular selected opt specific as well as prompt base fluid is concerned. So basically, fluids are having its own structures to predict the combinational mode of heat transfer always. With respect to nanofluids, basically we are going to define this nanofluid as a combinational mode of a basic solid structure in powder form or in a semi-solid form to be mixed with the basic fluid. This is what the constraint is. So the moment we are mixing with basic newer nanomaterials with the basic fluid, automatically there is a prediction that the thermochemical as well as the thermophysical behavior of the basic structures, the combination of basic structures of combination of both the solid form majority and the minority form of the basic fluid with a very nominal void fraction less than 0.1% will improve the properties normally. So this is the background in which we are using we started introducing the nanofluids. And basically we started introducing this nanoparticles in different forms like oxides, carbides, nitrides, and carbon nanotubes, etc. So it talks, as far as fluid flow structures are concerned, we are going to deal with the compressible flow up to some extent in which it has to be predicted for distinguishing the Rayleigh flow and Fano flow with respect to a particular void fractional minimal effects are concerned towards the sustainable development of predicting the thermal conductivity oriented enhancement for the cooling purpose. This is one aspect. And secondly, if you look at the experimental investigation point of view, there are different types of basic fluids to be selected for capturing the basic eco-friendly nature, basic academic freedom related oriented dispersion media, and basic methodologies as well as the advanced methodologies to be captured by using the TEM and SEM basic methodologies to scan or image everything, the microstructure or the characterization structures, everything. So since we started mixing a solid with basic fluid minimally, there are some optimistic related optimization procedures are always required to have a feasible studies on the improvement of or the enhancement of heat transfer by using the advanced fluid flow structures oriented nanofluids. So this is what we are going to predict it in subsequent slides. So initially we started introducing the Al2O3 with copper oxides. Then we started using silver particles, and in later still we are using Al2O3 with water or copper oxide or silver particles too. But because of the existence of carbon nanoparticles, it is also mandatory to investigate on the nanostructures or the structures behaves differently or indifferently or favorably or detachably or which are favoring all the thermophysical and thermochemical properties if you are in a position to use the advanced experimental techniques like gas chromatography and other flow visualization methods too. If you are clinging on the knowledge-based expert systems by using StarCD or the advanced level of StarCD versions of CFD of softwares with the help of knowledge-based expert systems to be coupled with ES-ICE and ES-Aero. So basically, there is a prediction that we are always interested to predict the incompressible flow to some extent. But whenever we are talking about the fluids, naturally, up to some extent, we are also in a position to cling on the features under the fluid dynamic simulation of the compressible fluid structures also, because of the cycle-to-cycle variation in all the minimal stages when we are mixing it, as well as with respect to a small void percentage or volume fraction in which we are going to introduce the enhancement of heat transfer through thermophysical and thermochemical properties too. So this is the background in which we are always looking for the enhancement of heat transfer for cooling applications. For example, if you look at the thermochemical and thermophysical changes required to be acquired for accumulating certain basic features of intentions towards the thermal engineering of electronic cooling of electronic equipments, it plays a vital role as far as the nanofluids are concerned. So again, as far as the present scenario is concerned, globally speaking, the trends towards using the carbon nanotubes and nanofluids, heat transfer and fluid flow structures are totally deviated by using hybrid nanofluids as well as the empirical oriented, system oriented, or the material oriented, or the phase oriented hybrid nanofluid structures, which are favoring the basic enhancement of the critical flux. So as far as heat transfer is concerned, basically we are aware of two basic terminologies. One is as usual heat transfer or heat flow with respect to particular perimeter length or x direction or 1D. Only we are going to assume all the predictions in time, even though the enhancement of heat transfer is expected out of different dimensions like one-dimensional, two-dimensional, three-dimensional cases with steady and unsteady state conditions. Again, with heat generation and without heat generations are also concerned. So always it is better to assume that the flow field is isotropic and the materials are isotropic, so that we are always assuming that the thermal conductivity in x direction, y direction as well as z directions are always assumed as constant, irrespective of the position and the geometry in which it has to be placed. Now, to start with the technologies involved in the nanofluids, we have two different technologies. One is dry one and the other one is wet nanotechnology. So normally gases and fluids, since gases and fluids are also considered in different forms of fluids, naturally we are going to fight against solids, since we are going to mix both of them either through natures on its own because of the natural phenomena to ensure the sustainable developments towards the ecological dynamics as well as the ecological factors too, as well as involving with these chemical and biochemical changes in terms of biomechanical processing and microelectromechanical systems too through industrial advancements. So again, one more flexible advantage of as this nanotechnologies, we can always we are always deserving for implementing the more degrees of freedom with more opportunities, with as well as whenever we are looking for more opportunities, as far as the nanofluids are concerned, we are also going to have a look on the more challenges also. So basically, nanofluids are comprising of nanoparticles in base fluids, which are able to understand the nanoscale particle fluid interactions in physical, chemical, thermal, thermophysical, thermochemical, biomechanical, bioprocesses related, and up to some extent, we are also going to have the engineering applied mechanics too, as far as the material behavior patterns are concerned in terms of the creep, stress, and fatigue and one is stresses too, up to some extent, if you are using for the material behavior oriented code coupling by using the CFD software along with the SolidWorks or ANSYS latest versions also. Or you can have a coupled view with any one of the design software as well as modeling software too. And moreover, we are also in a position to predict the situations for directed cell assembly, and it's originated from the suspension of nanoparticles in fluid. Suspension, basically, it is corresponding, basically it relates to a rate of dispersion or mixing. So, for example, when we started to mix, for example, if you are mixing water with kerosene, up to some extent, we can make sure that the bubble formation is there in the creamy layer in the top surface, and slowly if you are going deep in the depth level, then obviously you can see the difference in the concentrations or the density level. So automatically all the fluid, when we started mixing the basic fluid structure, automatically all the basic fluid properties are changing. So with these instantaneous changes in density and other fluid parameters too, we are in a position to cling on the kinematics or kinetic study of basic solid as well as fluid structures too. So as far as the material behavior predictions are concerned, we are in a position to have a look on what should be the preliminary actions to be come up with the entire idea about the basic material failures undergoing the basic advanced level of basic as well as the advanced level of fluid flow structure in terms of compressible flow is concerned, because of the existence of turbulence always when we started to characterize the materials along with blending of any one of the fluids basically along with the solid. So since even though the percentage of basic fluid is seems to be a minimal one, it is already proved scientifically as well as technically, it is proved that the percentage of dispersion should be minimum for a maximized enhancement level of heat transfer, since we are going to have the phase changes in the minimal form. Of course, basically, the ability to do the useful energy in terms of synergy or exergy is also available energy is also required under the thermodynamical as well as thermodynamical classical approach, as well as the equipartition energy level in terms of molecules for statistical thermodynamics is also concerned up to some extent as far as this nanofluid flow as well as heat transfer aspect is concerned, since we are going to join or combine both the solid structures with the fluid one. And again, the polymer structures, ceramic structures, then the existence of different forms of oxides, nitrites, carbides, carbon nanotubes. So these combinations are very well to be adjusted or focused with the optimistic level of understanding the basic concepts toward thermophysical and thermochemical aspects for dry as well as wet terminologies in terms of the nanotechnological advancement issues. Then now let us have a look on the basic terminologies associated for the processing issues. So as we have already pointed out, it basically deals with the suspensions of nanoparticles in basic fluids. We have size. We are going to have a look on the grain size, then enhancing the functions, then combining the different nanoparticles with structuring the size, then controlling the interactions too. So under suspensions of nanoparticles in base fluids, first of all, we should have a look on what should be the size which methods for transporting the properties different from the conventional suspensions and do not settle under gravity, and it won't block the flow also up to some extent. So normally we are in a position to have a look on their size optimistically. And secondly, enhancing the functions and properties by combining and controlling the interactions too. So the controlling the interactions with the help of chemical kinetics as well as dissociation aspects of the lean mixtures or rich mixtures or the heterogeneous mixtures of the percentage of dispersion going to be monitored under flow visualization or advanced level of heat transfer aspects, since we are going to combine incompressible flow with the compressible in fluid flow structures, and we are going to combine the conduction mode of heat transfer with respect to convection mode also up to some extent. So because of these combinations, it is always mandatory to see that the enhancement of functions and properties by combining and controlling the interactions for nanofluids are mandatory. Then thirdly, combining the different nanoparticles, that is structure size in different base fluids with additives also up to some extent because of improving the cold flowing conditions or hot treatment, heat treatment processes under hot conditions too. Because we are not going to deal with the temperature alone, we are going to talk about all the nominal transfer of heat in terms of heat flow with respect to heat transfer, particularly in terms of flux. So whenever we are going to talk about the heat transfer in terms of flux, normally it refers to the cross-sectional area, phenomenal changes with respect to a particular section of a fluid, the solid structures to be blended with the fluid. So as far as cross-section of a solid material is concerned, we can very well go ahead with finite element methods as well as finite volume method and finite difference methods also to some extent to predict the heat transfer as well as temperature difference aspects. But at the same time, then we are looking at when we are talking about the basic fluid structures, it is also essential to have a look on the finite particle methods too. And fluid dynamic simulation studies are basically with respect to nanofluid structure as far as particular platform is concerned for a material characterization by using hybrid nanofluids, even though the fact is lying under the purview of the basic fluid structures and basic heat transfer aspects, but normally it is seen in the other side of the coin, the very advanced level to upgrade all the technologies to starting from the computational fluid dynamics to predict the fluid dynamic simulation, starting from the hybrid microelectromechanical systems, then wireless sensor development, networking, as well as the data minings too, as far as the optimization and aspects are concerned, so that finally we can have a conclusion about what all the data mining and data collection should be made for the finite element procedures are concerned. So there are two different issues in which normally we were under the impression that so far the material behavior predictions was possible only by predicting the finite element method for solids. Actually, for solids, if you are coupling the code with the any other design software or modeling software, it is also very, very essential to predict the situations for the fluid flow structures also by combining the code which are relevant to the enhancement of heat transfer with the help of the solid structures too. So this is what I'm trying to convey in this presentation. even though we are going to talk about the basic as well as fundamental structures of nanofluids and heat transfer, it is also very essential to have a look on some of the advanced structures also, because the term nanofluids itself exhibiting the advanced level of microstructures and the level advanced level of fluid flow structures prediction and advanced level of heat transfers too. So finally, because of these complexities that we have discussed so far as an introductory part, finally we are also in a position to control the interactions using different mixing methods and thermal flow structure, and again by using different types of flow conditions too in the field. So now let us have a basic look on the applications of nanofluids, advanced as well as hybrid nanofluids. So heat transfer of nanofluids in the tribological area, then coating, then chemical processing industries, then chemical, for example, pharmaceutical industries, drug delivery systems, telemedicine industry, then extraction of nanofluids based industries, then environmental pollution. As far as the present scenario is concerned, in multinational level, they started originating their march fast towards the ecological dynamics and sustainable developments too, because of the existence of using the advanced nanofluid structure in hybrid form. Then again, in the biochemical industries and biomechanical industries, and of course, for example, for your information, Biocon is one of the Indian-based multinational company for introducing the wireless sensor development and the communicational issues as far as the mobile applications are concerned. With respect to the different apps, we are downloading it for many advanced level of mixing the materials embedded in laptop or any intelligent computers or mobiles or advanced features of computational facilities too, including the supercomputers materials. Then finally, we can have an application-oriented medical telemedicine also, drug delivery and functional tissue cell interactions, including the cryosurgical aspects. So as far as the present medical scenarios, as far as nanofluids are concerned, it is in medical field for removing or Parkinson's disease or infections or any infected tumors from the brain without mixing it with a normal automatically due to the effects of the very, very low temperature. Minus range of temperature. So the moment if you are touching with the very, very low temperature probe with a tumor, automatically it will be collapsed. So this is one of the major application in cryosurgery medical field as far as the nanofluids applications are concerned. So similarly, many applications are there in defense and for example, again, the GA, Geographical Information Systems, then global positioning systems. So all the modern structures, they are modern methodologies and manufacturing processes and even the CMM that we are using it for predicting the different dimensional quality for manufacturing purpose too, to produce different types of components. It is also associated with the basic structures of introducing the hybrid nanofluids for using in the surface level of coating structures. So this is what we are trying to convey. So as far as the basic applications are concerned. Now, if you see the development of advanced hybrid nanofluids, it is polymeric based. So polymer nanofluids, then drag reduction nanofluids, DR nanofluids. So there are two different basic as well as advanced level of hybrid nanofluids. One is poly nanofluids, other one is drag reduction nanofluids. So development of heat transfer nanofluids are normally it has a collaboration with many international forums, and many proposals have been already proposed. So my experience with Ethiopian Ministry of Education related to nanofluids or plenty in terms of the polymeric based nanofluids by using polymer matrix materials. So BMC has, because the reason is it withstands very high temperature. So instead of using the metal matrix MMC, we can go for PMC always as far as the basic nanofluid applications are concerned for high temperature applications. Then again, you can go for the development of tribological nanofluid structures also. So again, there are two major universities which are embedded with basic development of the nanofluid structures, Northern Illinois University and the energy sector company. So now let us see some of the background. There is a need for advanced prediction of advanced flow and heat transfer fluids and other critical applications too, since it is originating with a different blend of different properties. The concept of nanofluids, of course, you have to understand the basic concept because we are going to deal with solids, semi-solids, with fluids. So the percentage of solid is more and the percentage of base fluid is nominal, very minimum, less than 0.1%. So normally because of this predominance in minimal heterogeneity within the structure, it is very, very difficult to predict the thermophysical and thermochemical behaviors. Then, of course, the materials for nanoparticles and base fluids are considered as one of the core important thing, extremely good for exhibiting the enhancement of heat transfers too by using different structures like powder or with respect to the polymeric or DR nanofluids are concerned. Of course, if you look at the characterization of nanoparticles, normally it is embedded with different composition of structures. Obviously, normally we can go very well go ahead with the TEM and SEM, but most of the times it is seen that we have come across the critical issues like measuring the deformational criteria, measuring the hybrid form of dispersion rate of the structures with microbial predictions for biomedical applications in drug delivery for pharmaceutical industries. So things are so critical when we are talking about the characterization of nanoparticles are concerned. And again, as far as the flow and heat transfer characterization is concerned, we are going to deal with incompressible, compressible, with heat generation, without heat generation, steady and unsteady. Again, with respect to an isotropic and polymorphism oriented prediction of all the structures too. Now let us have a look on what are the challenges. So the heat rejection requirements are continually increasing due to the trend towards the rapid speeds and smaller features for microelectronic devices. So microelectromechanical systems is fastly developing in the auto infratronics as well as microelectronics too, to predict the optical characteristics. So if you look at any material, basically the three different characterizations are evolved coming out of the basic characterization. So out of these characteristics, the properties like physical, chemical, and thermal properties can be predicted by using the basic experimentations too. But if you look at the advanced level of fluid flow structures, including the compressible flow structures as well as the advanced combination mode of conduction and convection is concerned, again with respect to nominal changes, very nominal changes, very minor percentage with very minor or very less size of particles, it's very, very difficult to design the microelectronic devices which are already embedded in all the computational equipments like laptop, mobiles, and all other supercomputing equipments too. So the cooling process is considered as one of the mandatory thing. So as far as the the equipment of the cooling process involved in thermal management of electronic equipments is concerned. So top priority is given to cooling for all the thermal equipments. And there are many high-tech industries, MNC companies are dealing with microelectronics, transportation, then manufacturing and metrology too, by adopting the advanced optimization techniques as well as the advancements in design softwares too, parallelly blended with the material predictions also. So conventional methods are normally used to increase the heat flux rates. Then normally the pin fins or fins or extended surfaces are normally used to increase the area of heat transfer. So probably we can cool it very fastly. Unlike the conventional equipments like the automotives or very big internal combustion engines or gas turbines in aircraft. But normally, with respect to the combustion aspects are concerned, again we are going to have a look on the basic as well as the advanced features of flow structures as well as the cooling rate is concerned. So again, with respect to the nanofluid major applications for thermal engineering of electronic equipments, we have heat pipes and microchannels. There we can have a look on the grain size of deformational oriented, process supporting and self-adjusted grain size by using the nanofluid with the nano particles with a basic fluid. So even though water and glycol is normally grouped under one cluster of basic fluids to be used in nanofluid structures, but obviously we can see that if you look at the material prediction behavior of the basic fluids by using water and glycol, it is very essential to have the predictions of thermophysical and thermochemical. Up to some extent, thermophysical properties can be predicted by with the basic normal conventional water and glycol as a basic fluid, base fluid. But it is very difficult to proceed with the other types of basic fluids because we are going to have a hybrid issues. Automatically, when we started to mix any other two different compositions, the thermomechanical, thermochemical, and thermophysical behavior will be automatically changed. Because since we are looking for utmost interest in miniaturization or the reducing the level of compact size of the electronic equipments, it is very essential to have the enhancement structures by using nano fluids. Of course, new technologies are embedded with machine learning and artificial intelligence for code coupling with respect to basic software is concerned. So if you have a basic predictions with respect to the concept of nanofluids in terms of predicting the heat transfer of fluids. Many researchers have come out with miniaturization technologies, but at the same time, it is predicted that the conventional fluids, size of the conventional fluids that contain millimeter or micrometer sized particles do not work with emerging recent trends technologies because they can clog the tiny channels of these devices. So clogging is one of the major difficulty when we started using the micro channels and heat pipes too, as far as the have a look on the basic applications for sizing the nanoparticles in different size. For example, if you have for example, laptop and computers, the recommended particle size is 10 meter, 1 meter, 0.1 meter, then 1 centimeters too. Then for microchannels, the recommended, because the microchannels are always embedded with the sensors for actuation purpose in terms of microelectromechanical systems and auto infotronics. So whenever we are talking about the sensor development for networking and routing, for communication as well as the computer vision techniques too, it is also to have a cluster of sizes of nanoparticles like 1 millimeter, 100 micrometer, and 10 micrometer and 1 micrometer sizes. As well as we can relate these sensor basic mid ranges with bacteria too for 10 micrometer and 1 micrometer. Again, for virus, it deals with 100 nanometer and 10 nanometer. And for small molecules, we are going to have 1 nanometer and 0.1 nanometer. So from where the N starts, from 100 nm, 10 nm, 1 nm, and 0.1 nm. So we must be conscious enough to have a recommended size of nanoparticles in different forms, recommendable forms, along with the nominal percentage of basic fluid flow, basic base fluid combination. Now let us see what are the reasons to use the nanoparticles. The basic concept of mixing the solid particles in fluid is for enhancing the thermal conductivity, and it can be traced back to Maxwell in the in 19th century, and after that we started coupling the suspensions with a very nominal percentage, so that we are able to cling on the critical heat flux in terms of convection is concerned. So as far as advanced level of hybrid nanofluids are concerned, the rate of exhibiting the advanced level of heat transfer enhancement is only based on the free or forced convection more than 75 percentage, and less than 25 percentage we can cling on the combination mode of conduction heat transfer 2, again by assuming that it is predicted only in X or Y alone, or X and Y only up to some extent. For if you are have a code coupling with minus different method, forward difference and back by using forward difference and backward difference, as well as process of CFD is concerned. Because since subjectively speaking, as far as computational, always nanofluids are embedded with CFD, and CFD is embedded with machine learning and artificial intelligence as optimization process. And this machine learning and the artificial intelligence are already embedded with very large scale integration and embedded systems. So like it goes. So when we are talking about the basic as well as advancement of micro as well as structures of particles or powders. So basically it deals with the metal forms or oxide forms and carbide forms or carbon nanotubes also up to some extent, as far as the nanofluid processing issues are concerned in terms of advanced technology. Now there are some basic reasons in which the suspensions or the collapsing the dispersing media should be embedded with favoring properties of VLSA also. So previously we were under the impression that the mechanical features of nanofluids are to be looked into, and after that we started discussing about the computational facilities, and after that we started discussing about the fluid dynamic simulation, and again we started to move our direction towards nanofluids advancements in terms of ecological dynamics and sustainable development for heat, green building and green structures by using facile materials too, in terms of the nanofluid heat transfer enhancement is concerned. So likewise it goes. So now we are in a position to combine all the advanced technologies in all the branches of engineering, including the geographical information, GIS and GPS positioning, because in all the supercomputing as well as intelligent computer systems, computing systems, we are in a position to mix the advanced technologies of both computer networking, data mining, machine learning, as well as the artificial intelligence towards wireless sensor developments. So there are some basic reasons in which we started to introduce the nanoparticles too, in terms of categorizing the fluid dynamic simulation, since it talks about the fluid structures. So if you are categorizing the fluid structures, we are going to have hurdles on critical stages in terms of complicated parameters in 3 different stages in pre-processing in the first level, processing in the second level, post-processing in the final level. So if you look at the pre-processing level in the first stage, it is nothing but defining the problem with suitable boundary conditions. So defining the problem with suitable boundary or reasonable conditions for a nominal, conventional, diplomatic, professional safety problem itself are taught so far. That is the case. Now how we are going to have a look on the different percentage of dispersion media with respect to fluid combinational hybrid structures of polymeric materials with fluid and fluid with nanostructured any different form of carbides and nanotubes. So the complicated structures of dispersion can be minimized with nominal optimistic characteristics of material prediction in terms of optimizing the thermochemical, thermomechanical and thermophysical and thermochemical properties too. So wherever we are talking about the properties, thermo is involved. So automatically, nanofluids are basically exhibiting the fluid flow structures and advancements of heat transfer. So naturally, characterization of materials are mandatory as far as fluid dynamic simulation studies of the basic nanofluid structures are concerned, starting from the first level to the last level. So stage 1 is talking about defining the problem with suitable boundary conditions. then Dirichlet or the combinational mode of Niemann condition can also be coupled with the defining the problem. And for nanofluids and advancement of heat transfer is concerned, especially. And secondly, processing stages are concerned, we can very well go ahead with nanofluid CFD analysis with the help of finite difference method for pure prediction of temperature or heat transfer alone by using forward difference or back difference and central difference to a particular application is concerned up to some extent, specifically speaking. And secondly, we can use for both predicting the fluid flow structures as well as the heat transfer aspects are concerned. We can also very well go ahead with finite volume method. That it is a combination of both. It is taking care of both the changes in fluid flow structures, incompressible, compressible, as well as the combination of conduction as well as convection mode. So that you can, by using finite volume method, you can the processing stage will be easier. Then again, if the particulate, if any particulate matter or any particle or the structures which are very, very difficult to identify the basic terminologies of thermophysical, thermochemical, thermomechanical, and thermo processing related issues, parameters are concerned, then you can go for finite particle method. So finite particle method is one of the recent trend in which you can cling on even the CFD analysis with many structures too. So as far as fluid dynamic simulations studies are concerned, we can go for predicting the CFD analysis with the help of basically finite element method is only meant for solids, but for fluids it is emerging. So you can use code, you can compute the code of CFD coding with finite element analysis too. That is a recent trend, but the processing stage, the processor should be finite particle method. Finite particle method. And the last is getting the animated or output. For getting the animated vector diagram, scatter diagram, or animated, always we are looking for animated diagram only, so that we are getting, if we are able to get the animated diagrams, automatically we can proceed with the mass fractions, turbulence, kinetic energy, temperature distribution, again, velocity distribution, pressure distribution, and all the factors, including the variations in the Mach number in terms of compressible flow conditions, can also be predicted with the help of the basic features, since we are going to couple the code with the other knowledge-based expert systems too. Then we can have a look for materials for nanoparticles and base fluids. The basic nanoparticle materials includes oxides and ceramics, ALO, CO, and metal carbide, silicon carbide, nitrides, aluminum nitride and silicon nitride, then metals, aluminum and copper, non-metals like graphite and carbon nanotubes, then layered thing, then aluminum, Al plus, ALO and copper, and so on. Then PCM, phase-change materials are also considered for the nanofluidic applications for an advanced level of investigation, since it talks about the functionalized group under different sizes of nanoparticles. So if you have a look on the basic fluids to be used, starting from water, we have ethylene glycol or dry ethylene glycols, and oil and other types of lubricants we can have. Then biofluids, then polymer solutions. So as far as biofluids are concerned, normally it's an upcoming trend. So anybody, if you're interested in if you're interested in biofluid structures like our own body fluids like hormones, cellulose structures. Cellulose structures can also be considered as a nanoparticle in our body, and along with our basic fluids of blood, as the hemoglobin content is considered as a base fluid. So basically, because of these two terminologies of predicting the basic fluidic structure under the cluster of nanofluids, it is also very, very easy to predict the cryosurgical and other the major very risky surgery-related cryosurgeries externally for on the skin and internally embedded in the system by using the artificial intelligence, so that the physician or a doctor is able to predict or to ensure that whether the 100% removal of the infected tumor from the brain, inside the brain, is removed without mixing with blood 99.9%, so that the patient life can be saved. So because of telemedicine, as advancements in terms of nanomaterials and nanofluids plays a vital role rather than that of if you're comparing the basic scenarios and advancements with industrial applications are concerned. Now let us have a look on the methods for producing the nanoparticles uh, towards the nanofluidic structures. So there are two approaches, two-step process and one-step process. So in the case of two-step process for oxide nanoparticles, it's a cool aid method. Nanoparticles are produced by evaporation and inert gas condensation processing, and therefore dispersed or mixed, including the mechanical agitation and sonification in base fluid. So since we are having the dispersion rate, it is very, very essential to have the prediction of mixing ability towards prediction of the deformational capabilities of the material characterization for sustainable development, which favors always the thermochemical and thermophysical behaviors in the preliminary stage for monitoring the system and controlling the system. But for executing and prediction, we need to have some more look on thermomechanical and thermomechanical and thermo-optical issues too, because optical characteristics of all the miniaturization, because all the electronic components are not like mechanical components. Mechanical components are comparatively huge in size, whereas since the electronic components are always very minimum in its size, it's because of the existence of different advanced level of microchannels and heat pipes and the sensors and actuators embedded in auto infotronic systems, starting from the costlier automotive vehicles and the aircraft, recent aircraft, especially 737 MAX A, Airbus, and the advanced aerodynamic structures, even the miniaturized or many minimum size components used in satellite communications and rocket engines and space applications and shuttles. So probably we are looking for the processing advancements in one stage and manufacturing difficulties in the other side, then characterization probabilities in third side, and finally we are going to have a look on the optimization in the other stage. So whenever we are talking about the advancements of nanofluids in terms of fluid structures, we need to have a look on what are the capabilities to be embedded or performed or adjusted or to be supported with the advancements in technologies to be coupled with the basic software with an advanced code coupling to measure it, to monitor it, to control it, to optimize it, as well as to propagate the fluctuations as an instantaneous changes in velocities in x direction as u component and u prime, and y direction as u plus u prime, and z direction as w plus w prime in all the modulus 2, so that the code coupling process will be easier for nanofluid CFD fluid dynamic and fluid dynamic simulation studies are concerned. So two-step approach process are very, very essential for code coupling with CFD as far as the nanofluidic structures are concerned, whereas we can always go ahead with one-step process, simultaneously makes and disperse the nanoparticles directly into the base fluid, so that you can have a direct contact for predicting the metallic nanofluids. But bimetallic behavior, because of the existence of covalent bonds and other chemical kinetic structures too, it is also very, very essential to have the dissociation of the particles. So equipartition of energy and mean free path and or root mean square velocity, all these statistical behavior of the statistical approach of the basic thermodynamic analysis can also be looked into as far as the CFD analysis of nanofluid structures are concerned. And if we have a look on the basic methods, we have a chemical vapor deposition and gas chromatography. We can go ahead for measuring the chemical properties as well as thermal properties too. And we can have an idealized as well as real synthesis by introducing the new flow visualization methods. So again, next one is the production of copper nanofluids. So this diagram shows the nanofluid production system designed with respect to an effective influence of evaporation as well as condensation. So metallic vapor into low vapor pressure liquids combination. So in this case, we can see the eddy breakup in the molecule surface. So whenever we are talking about the basic nanofluid structure, turbulence, it plays a very important role. So as far as the CFD predictions are concerned, subjectively speaking, we can go ahead with thermal kinetic energy. But if you look at the basic terminologies or combination of both incompressible and compressible flow structures, we are also in a position to have a look on the aerodynamic structures in terms of different types of turbulence motions like eddies, in the large level, higher order level, and swirl squish, tumble, and blow by also in the reciprocation motion. And as far as any chamber is cryo chamber or any fluidic chamber is concerned in terms of introducing the nanofluid structure, which is already associated with embedding the molecules in terms of evaporation or condensation, either for the heat transfer enhancement for cooling 90% and either for 90% cooling and either for 90% either for 90% cooling, or it can also be extended for different types of structures. So this is the basic scenario in which we are going to have a look on the basic different types of turbulence motion which are exhibiting the advanced level of fluidic structures towards the enhancement of the heat transfer aspects. Since we are going to combine the consider the combination mode of conduction with the convection. So starting with swirl, squish, tumble, blow by, and the basic structures, it is also essential to have so it is also very essential to have the different types of turbulence of motions, starting from swirl, squish, tumble, aerodynamic, as well as the eddies too. So as far as eddies are concerned, it has influences on both latitude, longitudinal and lateral functions, so that the movement of fluid particles in terms of lateral and longitudinal will exhibit a complicated stage towards the prediction of the basic fluid flow structures. So this is the background in which we started using the production of different sizes of copper nanofluidic structures. So we'll have a look on the basic test rig which are proposed actually for the development of granulating the sizes with actual morphology. So we have a nitrogen cooling plate with coils and fins in the structure, and we have a rotating drum with moving nanofluid film, and we are also having the insulator and vertical adjustable heater as an evaporator. So because of the chemical vapor deposition and the fluid structure of turbulence motions, there is a possibility for the formation of heterogeneous mixture, so that we can have a complicated structures of compressible flow in terms of eddies and swirl normally. Maybe 50% of eddies, larger eddies and smaller eddies, along with the structure of swirl also. And again, we can have a code coupling with the enhancement of convection heat transfers too. Now, as far as the heat transfer aspects are concerned, normally conduction mode of heat transfer, it doesn't require any mediative transfer of heat. Since we are going to have a direct contact with the solid structure, so obviously we are assuming that heat is transferred through only one direction alone, even though it is happening at three different directions for multi-directional thing. But still, we need to have a look on the assumption that we are going to have a critical flux towards only one direction, and even since we are going to have the nanofluidic structures, as far as convection mode of heat transfer is concerned, we need to have an assumption that we need to have a medium to transfer the heat, either water or any other fluidic medium. So probably because of the existence of the nanoparticles embedded in the fluid structure, of course we started scanning the systems for imaging like TEM. The figure shows the TEM characterization of copper. So the bright field TEM micrograph of copper nanoparticles produced by direct vaporization into ethylene glycol is shown here. So it talks about exhibits the one-step nanofluid production method resulted in a very small copper particles, 10 nanometer diameter in the order of magnitude, and very minimum agglomeration and sedimentation occurs with new and patented methods too for specific applications are concerned. And if you have a look on the dispersion experiment, it shows that the stable suspension of oxide and metallic nanoparticles, and it can be achieved in common basic fluids too. So next one is multi-walled carbon nanotubes in oil. So multi-walled nanotubes were produced in chemical vapor deposition reactor with xylene as the primary carbon source and kerosene to provide to the catalyst for ionic configuration to ensure the metabolic bonds. And it has a mean diameter of approximately 25 nanometer and the length of approximately 50 micrometer, contained in an average of 30 annular layers. So as far as layering structures with respect to polymeric corrugated corrugated structures are concerned, we need to have a look on the gravitational studies too as far as the fluid structures are concerned. So if you look at the surging and choking for the gravitational studies, the same thing is also existing in the case of compressible fluid flow structures because of the dispersion criteria in a very complicated stage. Then nanotube in synthetic oil, nano fluids were produced by a simple one-step method as far as the conventional usage is concerned. So stable fluids with carbon nanotubes, and it enhances the thermal conductivity for promising the critical heat transfer. So there are four basic characterization features of nanofluids. So it's a nanofluid research has already happened in different areas, medical, chemical industries too. It promises many potentialities towards the emerging technologies. We have a combination of four characteristic features like increased thermal conductivity at low nanoparticle concentrations. So strong temperature dependent, non-linear increase in temperature dependent with nanoparticle concentration, and it increases the boiling critical flux too. Then enhancement of nanofluid thermal conductivity with a very minimum nominal diameter of copper particles is shown in the diagram, and it can also be extended for the nanofluids containing metal oxide nanoparticles. Average diameter is 35 nanometer. So the largest increase in conductivity up to 40% at 0.3 volume percentage of copper nanoparticles can also be considered for all the research applications. That is copper nanoparticles coated with thioglycolic acid. Okay, so many researchers are already going on, and as far as the nonlinear increase in thermal conductivity with the nano tube loadings are concerned, basically it talks about the suspension of the solid circles with the dotted lines in this diagram, and it is very difficult to predict the enhancement of the nanotube in oil nanofluids, because the oil has its different fluid structures with the different concentrations and other fluid parameters too, including the viscosity. So always some resistance of flow will be there. So again, we need to have a confinement with proper agreement of predicting the basic fluid structures, boundary conditions like dynamic viscosity or kinematic viscosities too. So probably because of the different fluid structures of oil, it is very essential to have a look on the other predictions of fluid properties too, in terms of fixing or ensuring the dynamic viscosity and kinematic viscosity. The next one is temperature dependent conductivity. It is also predicted that the strong temperature dependence of thermal conductivity may be due to the motion of nanoparticles. So statistical approach of thermodynamic movement of molecules are required as far as this nanofluidic structures are concerned. The next one is a significant increase in critical heat flux. So normally the critical is playing a vital role in the enhancement of nanofluid. The figure represents basic graphical structures of Al2O3 in water as a nanofluidic structure. But normally, it is predicted that the average size of departing bubbles increases the bubble frequency, which decreases evidently in nanofluids compared to the pure water. So, nanofluid critical heat flux enhancement cannot be explained with any existing models of CHF. Then limitations and need. The discoveries of very high thermal conductivity and CHF clearly shows that the fundamental limits of conventional models of solid liquid suspensions. Therefore, there is a necessity for developing new physics or models recognized by any research and development team and in the global level. And several mechanisms could be responsible for thermal transport in nanofluids, which have been proposed. The team of research, which can be predicted in futuristic aspects too. Now, this diagram shows the cross-section of a nanofluid structure consisting of nanoparticles as a bulk liquid and nano layers in different combinations. So, from this thermally bridging nano layer idea to the structural model, by introducing a hybrid nanofluids that consist of solid particles, bulk liquid, and solid nano layers too, as far as the corrugated structures are concerned. The next one is the nanolayer dependent. So this diagram shows the thermal conductivity enhancement ratio as a function of particle radius for copper in ethylene glycol dependent combination. So for larger particles, the nanolayer impact is evident as comparatively smaller. So this finding suggests that adding smaller, less than 10 nanometer diameter particles could be better than adding more larger size nanoparticles. The next one is talking about the Brownian motion of nanoparticles. A new model that accounts for Brownian motion of nanoparticles in nanofluid represents the concentration and temperature dependent conductivity. So this model predicts that water-based nanofluids containing 6 nanometer copper nanoparticles, actually the curved triangles, are much more temperature sensitive than those containing 30 nanometer L2O particles, with an increase in conductivity of nearly a factor of 2 at 325 Kelvin. Then let's have a look on the heat transfer enhancement of nanofluids. Firstly we can have a look on introduction, advanced flow and heat transfer challenges, advantages, preparation, concept, limitation, then materials used, and the thermal conductivity of nanofluids and applications and conclusions. So basically, there's a toughest challenge for facing industries and microelectronic industries, automobiles, manufacturing sectors, and other issues too, as far as the thermal losses are concerned, because we are not able to transfer the heat for cooling systems, especially as far as the electronic supercomputing facilities and electronic equipments and computer devices are concerned. So recent developments of nanotechnology brings out a new heat transfer coolant called nanofluids. Then preparation of nanofluid. Nanoparticles are produced from several we have already discussed for two-step method. It is widely used for preparing the nanofluids. Surfactants or the substances used to enhance the stability of nanoparticles to the fluid. Then in the case of two-step method, we are fixing the nanoparticle with the base fluid with the direct mixing, and this with the dispersant addition of the basic nano fluids. In the case of single-step method, it's a production and dispersion of nanoparticles in the base fluid. So in this process, uniformly dispersed particles are suspended predominantly and stably in the base fluid. In more systems, very, very essential. The residual reactants in nanofluids will be incomplete reaction or stabilization is difficult to evaluate the nanoparticle effects without eliminating the impeding effects. That is a drawback of single-step method. Whereas the second two-step method, you can go for eliminating the impurities through gas vapor, chemical vapor deposition systems. Of course, you can very well measure it through gas chromatography and other flow visualization anemometers too. So basically, this figure shows the cooling systems and liquid and resistively heated crucible embedded in single-step method. So there we can see the blue color modules as eddies, larger eddies. So there are some basic nanomaterials used for nanoparticles with the base fluid, oxides and ceramics. Oxide ceramics, Al2O3 copper oxide, then metal carbide, silicon carbide, nitrides, metals, non-metals, functionalized nanoparticles. Base fluids are water, ethylene, triethylene glycol and other coolants, oils and lubricants, biofluids, including cellulose and enzymes, and hormones also to some extent as a body fluidic structure for telemedicine and other surgical aspects are concerned, especially in terms of costlier and very advanced cryosurgery is concerned. Then polymer solutions and other common fluids too. So there are some challenges for advanced flow and heat transfer challenges. Heat rejection requirements are continuously increasing due to the trends because of the faster speeds. Then cooling becomes the most essential challenges in all the automotive, transportation, and manufacturing sectors, including the information technology sectors too, because of the existence of computing, fast computing technologies. Conventional method to increase the heat flux rates, extended surface or fins can also be used in the microchannels and heat pipes also to maintain the flow rates in pumping power of energy, cooling energy. So transportation of heat energy is highly possible to some extent to ensure that all the cooling rate is feasible for maximizing the enhancement of heat transfer by using the nanofluids. So nanofluids are promising to meet and enhancing the structures. So conduction for solids nanoparticles, convection for liquids, base fluid. So if the combination of these two are exhibiting the advanced law of heat transfer for nanofluids. Of course, the basic concept is already discussed. So we have a conventional fluids basically contains that micro and nano size do not work up with emerging reducing the size technologies because they can clog the passages of the devices too. Whereas nano fluids are considered a category of advanced heat transfer fluid engineered by emerging nanoparticles smaller than 100 nanometer. So if you look at the number of applications in this nanofluid structures, it is also essential to have a look on the literature. So starting from 1996, slowly we started originating towards the nanofluidic structures for predicting the flow and advanced flow structures, as well as the advancement of heat transfer for hybrid as well as the basic nanofluids. So number of publications are exceeding from 1996 to 2012. In 2012, at most we have reached 3,500, and as on date, it is more than that of. So normally they use the engine oil, then ethylene glycol, water, alumina, silicon, aluminum, copper, silver, and carbon combinations too. So thermal conductivity of nanofluids, basically it has different influencing criteria for enhancement of the heat transfer. So the fluids which are using traditionally to heat or conventionally to heat transfer applications have low thermal conductivity by taking into account that raising the demands of production of nanofluids. So however, it is necessary, very, very essential to increase the thermal conductivity. That is what predicted the basic nanofluid structures are concerned. So the role of Brownian motion and the interfacial layered structures are considered as far as the corrugated and gravitational studies of concern. Studies are concerned for nanofluids. It is already enhanced through the minimum volume fraction of the particles, nanoparticles. So as far as Brownian motion is concerned, it's a random motion of particles suspended in a fluid, resulting from their collision with the fast-moving molecules in the fluid. So we can compare the small element and the larger element criteria for the Brownian motion. Now we can see the interfacial layer influence over the nanofluid structure. The range of space comprising and adjoining the phase boundary within which the properties of matter are significantly different from the values in the adjoining phases, and that is called a surface layer or interfacial layer. So this is very, very essential to predict the mass fraction of the fluidic structure as far as the critical heat in terms of convection mode of heat transfer with respect to a cross section of a layer is concerned. Then volume fraction of particle is one of the major thing as far as the fluidic structure is concerned for nanofluids. So nanofluids are highly conductive, very low volume fraction distributed in nanofluids may measurably increase the effective thermal conductivity when compared to the liquids. Of course, there are some basic advantages. Due to nanosize particles, pressure drop is minimum. High thermal conductivity will increase the heat transfer rate, and the successful employment of nanofluid will lead to lighter and smaller heat exchangers. And flat plate, because of the existence of flat plate collectors and to be
embedded in all the heat exchangers, compact heat exchangers for low temperature applications, cryo applications, cryo chambers, then the positioning of the flat plate vertically, horizontally, then in an inclined manner. So all these on back of tubes and other basic features of two-phase heat transfer is concerned, it is very, very essential to predict the nanofluidic fluid and mixed structures in terms of the advancement of technology is concerned, so that we can conclude the basic good mixture of nanofluids will give better heat transfer rates. So microchannel cooling without clogging has to be addressed. Microchannel cooling without clogging has to be addressed since the component is very small in size. And nanofluids are not only a better medium for heat transfer in general, but they are also ideal for microchannel applications where the high heat loads are needed. So cost and as far as cost and energy saving is concerned, it's successful for the employment of nanofluids, which results in significant energy and cost saving because heat exchange systems can be made smaller and higher. Of course, there are some limitations too. Nanofluids are useful in heating or cooling process for 24 to 36 hours without any chemical treatment, as they are also not so stable. So they start settling down after 24 hours, which in turn exhibits the main advantage. So after treating the nanofluids chemically, they are expected to be stable up to maximum 72 hours as per the literature is concerned, which is also not enough time to use nanofluid in industries. So we can say that cost of nanofluid process is also so expensive. So we have the common applications like engine cooling, then nuclear cooling systems, cooling of electronic equipments in electronic circuits, of course, advanced refrigeration applications like pulse tube refrigeration and cryo-based refrigeration systems, then solar-based up to some extent, the solar-based waste heat recovery refrigeration systems too, then enhancement of heat transfer exchange in compact heat exchangers, then thermal storage applications, biomedical applications for cryosurgery and complicated surgery by keeping the telemetric data for telemedicine through data mining and networking for communications too, then cooling of microchips, then in defense and space applications, transportation applications, petroleum industry, then inkjet printing techniques too in computer vision, then machine visions also, then environmental remediations like sustaining introducing the sustainable development for eco-friendly designs and ecological dynamics for ecological and demographic geographical informations too by introducing the wireless sensor development through GIS and GPS systems, then surface coating, then fuel additives and lubricant applications also. So I have shown some of the basic applications for the nanofluidic structures. So now let's have a conclusion about the basic materialistic structures of nanofluid. So nanofluid is trending and developing technology, and we can expect that nanofluids may be next generation heat transfer fluids in the advanced level by combining conduction and convection mode in different position, different location, and different sizes and different hybrid manner and different mixing and different professional characterization and different combinational mode of multimodal machine learning, linguistic, capturing the images in deep as well as segmentations too, in terms of the advancements in nanofluidic flow structures and heat transfer aspects too. So by the nanotechnology, we can predict more advancements in nanofluids in 21st century because almost the human brain aspects are getting computerized or simulated in 2015 because of the combined effects of Microsoft features and CFD soft features and Google and IBM features too. So all the IT professionals and IT companies, industries are getting embedded with the machine vision and computer vision systems through the basic optimization techniques through machine learning, genetic algorithm, machine learning, computer vision, genetic algorithm, and artificial intelligence also to some extent through the combined effects of the basic optimization technologies too, for predicting or simulating all the human capabilities with the intelligent computers. So almost in 2018, we have come out with all the basic brain predictions. By 2000, it is also predicted that and expected to reach 100% of human brain simulation aspects with many neurons and microstructure aspects. So our brain with skull as a solid and tissues and muscles as semi-solid and bloods or something like base fluids. So this brain can be also treated as nominal as well as pakka nanofluidic system ready for all the thermomechanical, thermophysical, chemical, as well as thermo-optical structures, as far as the futuristic developments are concerned by using the nanofluidic flow structures and nanofluidic heat transfer aspects are concerned in 2025, almost like a human brain, just by logging in, clinging on the computerized vision and machine vision aspects through artificial intelligence. So starting from the design of experiments in the first level and genetic algorithm and simulating algorithm, the second level for optimization and multi-objective functions and data analysis and data analytics in the third level, and in the fourth level by using the hybrid combinations of the combinational mode of multimodal linguistic imaging and capturing by using digital image processing through optimal segmentation techniques by using different cameras and other pixel capacity of imaging the forensic issues too, in terms of the computational ethical computations with pervasive computing and cloud computations too, for finalizing the domains under the cluster of the artificial intelligence towards the prediction of the fluid flow dynamic simulations are concerned, as far as hybrid nanofluidic structures applications. So by 2025, we can expect the complete transformation of nanofluidic structures with intelligent computers too, with the help of machine learning and artificial intelligence are concerned by 2025. And almost by 2045, no such elements are required. Directly, we can perform all the computational efforts with singularity. So singularity of all the very large scale integration, VLSI, singularity of embedded system, singularity of machine vision, singularity of all the essential advanced features to be co-coupling with multimodal linguistic segmentation for capturing, as well as the linguistic mode of capturing the mode of the voices. Simply by capturing the voices, we can predict the image. So that is the way in which we are going to have a look on the basic feature advancements in nanofluidic structures. So we are glad to have a technology for designing and fabricating the project towards the nanoparticles in heat transfer. So, for example, if you look at our mobiles, three different structures are embedded. One is nanoparticle size, then there is a base fluid and functionalized surface. So with this diagram, we can clearly understand the embedded structure of the nanofluid advancements in terms of technology, scientific advancements, engineering advancements, and technological advancements in future for predicting the advanced level of nanofluidic structures and the different levels of nanofluid heat transfer. So there are some basic classification: base fluid, nanoparticles, and surfactants, ceramics, then pure metallics and alloys and carbon-based. Then features high heat conduction, stability, reduced chances of erosion, and reduction in wind power. There are some mechanisms of heat transfer in nanofluids. Liquid layer in static conditions. So layering is one of the very important thing. And suggested model predicted that up to 8-fold increase in thermal conductivity of nanofluid, especially when the particle diameter is less than 10 nanometer. Then particle aggregation in the static mode. So it has been indicated that when the nanoparticles are suspending the base fluid on the effect of van der Waals forces, they are agglomerated over a time. So because of the existence of the van der Waals force, normally there will be a proportionate complexity between the buoyancy forces and the van der Waals forces too, because we are discussing it or mixing it for combinational multimodal predictions. So there are no conclusive theories for the effect of aggregation on thermal properties. So aggregation is something different from layering. Of course, layering is a very basic nominal thing to be done as far as the characterization mechanism is concerned. So it's a basic mechanism. We can very well go ahead. But as far as the particle aggregation system is concerned, so this mechanism it takes place at constant nanoparticle concentration, and the specific heat of nanofluid with suspended nanoparticle did not change with respect to nanofluid with aggregated nanoparticles, but its diffusivity and thermal conductivity will increase. Of course, we have already covered the Brownian particle distribution also in the dynamic stage. So we have static stage and dynamic stage in the aggregating as well as layering the stages for static and dynamic. So of course, we can have a look on the thermal conductivity of basic materials, metallic solids, non-metallic solids, and liquids. And if you look at the effects of some parameters on thermal conductivity of nanoparticles, it talks about particle volume fraction, particle size, particle shape, particle material, base fluid, temperature, and effect of acidity. That is, it talks about pH also. Then synthesis of nanofluids. Of course, it's one of the very important steps by using two-step and single-step method. Then synthesis of nanofluids by using same thing we have already discussed with the nanoparticles in the base fluid, direct mixing, and we have ultrasonification and dispersion addition so that you can get a nanofluid. Single step method. Then applications in heat transfer, solar thermal collector, then thermal energy storage, then solar cells and solar stills also by adding carbon nanotubes. So this diagram shows the applications in solar thermal collector by using nanofluids. So we have a glass material and with a nanofluid structure. So based on the optical characteristics of solar radiation for an incidental ray, we have a nano shell for reflecting the absorption spectrum. So there are some more basic common applications for nano fluids in solar stills. So let us have a look on some of the Indian companies using nanofluid structures. So Admano Technologies, Andrelab Technologies, Tata Steel, then Auto Fiber Craft, then Avanza, Aries Technologies, Mitchell Enterprises, Nilima Nanotechnologies, Quantum Corporation, then Cisco Research Laboratories, then Vergentoy India, then Welbinotech, then Sullivan's Materials, then Redux Nano Labs. So these companies, Indian companies, based on the nanofluid research are upcoming, and some of the industries like Cisco and Mitchell Enterprises or as well as the Tata Steel have already collaborated with all the almost all the Europe countries, including Canada and UK. They have come out with different newer materials in terms of hybrid nanofluids with polymeric structures. Now let us have a look on characteristics of heat transfer for engine cooling. So engine cooling is basically considered as one of the conventional thing, simply by providing the extended surfaces or pin fins over the head, cylinder head. Since all the engines are having a direct contact with the medium, either atmospheric air or it is kept open naturally because of the natural convection, cooling is the sufficient cooling rate is possible to transfer the heat immediately, since we are providing the extension of heat transfer surface from the engine. So one way the normal banning process is going on inside the cylinder, and the other way you are shifting the gear to the different positions. So automatically there will be a change in the quantity of supply of fuel to the engine cylinder along with the oxidizer if it is a petrol, or if it is a diesel. Normally you can very well cling on the high compression ratio, because only at the end of compressing the high compressed hot air alone you are injecting the diesel fuel. So naturally, because of the existence of more heterogeneity in the combinational mode of thing, it's very difficult to assess the quality of the mixture in terms of mass fraction is concerned, unless otherwise the cooling rate is favoring the systems too. So conventional methods to increase the heat flux rates of traditional coolant fluids with the chemical additives, extended surfaces, pin fins or fins, which increases the flow rates. So these conventional methods have already utilized for their maximum potential due to their limitations. So nanofluids are promising future to meet and enhance the challenges. So some new class technology or based we started using from the inception. So the idea is to understand the basic features of boundary layer separation, then Prandtl mixing length concepts and diffusion aspects too. So Prandtl mixing length concept is one of the important things to be understood with the required displacement thickness and momentum thickness as far as the turbulence predictions are concerned. So of course, we have already recommended some of the materials, and we have discussed about the thermal conductivities too, and we have compared the solid liquid suspensions. So there are some thermal physical properties of nanofluids. So if you look at this diagram, L2O3 in water. So basically, the thermophysical properties of favoring the fluidic structure towards imaging as well as the simulating aspects. So one way we are looking for predicting, the other way we are looking for controlling. So these two predicting as well as controlling aspects of thermophysical properties are concerned. Naturally, it has to be embedded with the miniaturization techniques through very nominal size components like heat pipes or the micro channels to be streamlined for a particular application, so that the effect of temperature can be adjusted to be supportive with minimum effects. So we have predicted, if you look at the literature survey from many authors regarding to the coolants, some results are predicted. For the first one, by using water, the convection heat transfer coefficient H is increased by 39 and 83% at 15 and 20% at the different levels. So probably, if you look at the enhancement of heat transfer in terms of H, we have the different values from different authors. So now we can have a conclusion about the present work stage with some objectives also for a simulated case study with relevant operating conditions. Again, we have forced convection and subcooled boiling. Of course, nucleate boiling is can also be considered with respect to the vaporization process or concerned. So this is a proposed scheme of testing for a particular applications for a research activity. It shows a basic experimental setup. We have a supply tank and main cooling liquid tank, and there is a cooling coil. Then it is there is an immersed heater. So this is a basic structure. And this is a cross-sectional view of the test section. The sectional view of the particular section. So now let's have a summary for new applications in new technology. So development of methods to manufacture different hybrid nanofluids with polymer additives with exceptionally high thermal conductivity while at the same time having low viscous friction. So high thermal conductivity and low friction are critical designing parameters in almost every technology requiring heat transfer fluids, cooling or heating. And another objective will be to develop hybrid nanofluids with enhanced lubricational properties, so that there is a necessity to have a mandatory look on the additives also, which favors the cooling rate towards the sustainable development of the nanofluid heat transfer enhancements. Then applications ranges from cooling very denser packed integrated with compact circuits at the same scale to heat transfer to the heat transfer in nuclear reactors at the large scales also. So nature is full of embedded with nanofluids like blood, a complex biological nanofluid with different nanoparticles and molecular level accomplished different functions. That is what I have quoted one simple example as human body is normally considered as the transport of physical, thermochemical, thermo-optical, and thermochemical properties too. So we have, so if you take any human body, we have a solid as bones, liquids as bloods, hormones and enzymes, and semi-solids as minerals and tissues and muscles. So this is the best combination, best example for the nanofluidic structures, and we can transform the heat or transfer the heat by introducing the different mixing criteria with the nominal changes. So when we started taking medicine, for example, injecting an injection in our body, naturally it comes under the terminology of enhancement of heat transfer through nanofluids, because you are mixing a base fluid with a solid through a nerve. So probably the rate of injection rate, the rate in which you are injecting, the rate in which it was dispersing, the rate in which it was collapsing with your blood, the rate in which it was reacting with your blood. So everything is coming into picture in terms of nanofluidic structures, either incompressible or compressible, with steady or unsteady structure, with laminar or turbulent, or aerodynamic structures with detachable or attachable, or larger and smaller eddies too, with different types of turbulence motions too, as far as the injections are concerned in a human being, since we are injecting it. Again, many natural processes in biosphere and atmosphere include the environmental factors too for maintaining the sustainable development of ensuring the ecological dynamics through the advanced technologies. Then wide spectrum of mixtures of nanoscale materials with different fluid structures are also essential as far as this phenomena is concerned. Then many mining and manufacturing processes leaves waste products which consist of mixtures of shown the particles with fluids. A wide range of self-assembly mechanisms for nanoscale structures starts from a suspension of nanoparticles in a fluid. So very little is known in terms of thermophysical and thermochemical interactions. So many more things have to be explored as far as to improve the thermal conductivity is concerned. So improved theoretical understanding for nanofluid structure will develop many more things as far as the different nanoscale structures and dynamics of the fluid using variety of scattering methods like small angle X-ray scattering, small angle neutron scattering, then X-ray photon correlation spectroscopy and laser-based photon correlation spectroscopy, and static light scattering of computer-based models too, by using different advanced costlier technologies. So if there is any query, I am very much interested to address your queries up to some extent, as we have come across in different scenarios, in different applications too, with the combined project level of different countries. So to the best of my knowledge, I have covered starting from the basics to the intermediate stage in the middle era, as well as to the latest stage up to 2025 at least, for enhancing the artificial intelligence aspects towards the nanofluidic structures and heat transfer aspect too. And I tried my level best to capture the basic ideologies, starting from the basic ideologies to the advanced level too, as a present thing. So with these few words, I'm very much extending my sincere thanks to the organizers of Marthandam College of Engineering and Technology for giving a platform to address some of the important issues, conceptual oriented issues, as well